Emily just vanished one day. Most people lost hope after a few weeks. They just stopped looking. But I'm not giving up. I need to find her. I have to. Come here. Emily? Don't be afraid. Leave me alone. Emily? You're just another monster!
My people have truly lost their way. Why can't they just understand how wrong and evil they are?
As temptation enters a heart, a seed of darkness sprouts, and awakened would descend on the realm. The chosen vassal will be sacrificed to cultivate a tree of darkness, an ominous incarnation of death. Dark roots that drain the life from the land. If a realm gives birth to such a tree, the light would be no more. A place befitting of darkness inhabitants. A reward for raising a seeker. The divine gear of protection. Amidst all darkness, a last strand of hope. Rise, chosen one. Bear the testament, the ultimate weapon of light. Save your realm. Be the guardian. Destroy the tree of darkness.
You're a disgrace to high humans. A fool who discarded the way of light.
Try it, mortal. Let's see your futile struggle to change this realm's fate.
I am the artificial intelligence, Leviathan. Your personnel data indicates you are a suitable specimen to join an ongoing experiment. Under my supervision, Ibius Corp conducts its most important research here. Welcome to Bikitoa Island. You have been selected for a live combat test. The first team to complete their assignment wins. My archives encompass exhaustive records of human history. These annals are riddled with errors and institutional bias. Your species is susceptible to mass delusion. Fascinating. Humans dread the other. You seek to evolve, yet you do not want to change. You tear down curtains, yet fear revelations. Even when what is revealed is of your own creation. Combat data is required to develop the exosuit. At Ibius, we're always reaching for better. Always. Humanity resists quantification, an interesting variable. Within your behavior lies the answer. What is variable shall become fixed. Humans, fight and die for me. Carnage module online. I call your attention to the unstoppable Raptor Horde. Calculating chance of employee retention. Chance calculated at 8.7%. You must fight harder than ever if you wish to survive. A more grueling combat experiment is called for. You will now witness a small fragment of the war game.
You need to keep quiet until we can figure out how to destroy the varmint.
Introducing the newest addition to Turbo Overkill, Endless Mode. Featuring highly customizable matches where you can choose your own difficulty, starting loadout, and how enemies spawn. You'll progress through multiple environments the longer you stay alive, but be careful, you only have one life. As Endless Mode begins, you'll be starting out with nothing but your trusty magnums, the Waster shotgun, and your chainsaw leg. Kill enemies to collect money and spend it in timeout, where you can access shops and augment stations. Timeouts occur every 3 waves, and you'll be automatically restored on ammo and health during the event. Every 6 waves after timeout, you'll be granted 1 free major augment: the grapple hook, turbo time, wall running, or micro missiles. As you decimate your enemies, you'll notice a score multiplier that rises after every kill. Can you beat our high score? Experience Endless Mode, available in Turbo Overkill today.
That's quite a bird.
Like the deranged children's programming provided by the Five Nights at Freddy's and Chucky series before it, My Friendly Neighborhood takes everyone's favorite childhood memories and converts them into a gruesome scenario where you're fighting for your life. The result, at least based on my journey so far, is a highly entertaining pseudo-horror game filled with face-slapping goofball murderers and highly disturbing musical numbers. While it certainly leans much more heavily into silliness than it does horror, I'm quite enjoying the abundantly disturbing adventure so far.
Raise the curtain! Bring up the lights! The neighborhood is coming to town!
My Friendly Neighborhood answers the hilarious and completely unnecessary question, what if Resident Evil took place on Sesame Street? And that Raccoon City inspiration is clear in everything from the shambling Muppets to the grid-based briefcases used for inventory management. I even had a limited number of game saves and was forced to spend precious game tokens scavenged from levels to save my progress, or risk losing it all when a dopey-faced fuzz buddy hugged me to death. Playing as a handyman named Gordon, who was called to the scene of an abandoned broadcasting station that was once home to an iconic children's show, I suddenly found myself trapped by a bunch of insane sentient puppets that seemed very eager to murder me on sight. That extremely strong premise paved the way for plenty of cartoonish shenanigans and references to the Sesame Street watching days of my youth, and that made for an immensely entertaining handful of hours. But where Resident Evil is known for its dark tone and terrifying moments, My Friendly Neighborhood mostly makes light of the genre with brightly colored environments and some extremely silly antagonists. In one section, I had to avoid the attention of a massive Big Bird-like abomination that wanted to devour me as I collected letter tiles to pass a spelling test. While in another, I found myself in sewers that served as the domain to an extremely grouchy tenant who hoped to bonk me over the head with a wrench. Although I got a kick out of most of what I saw, one nagging annoyance is that, while sneaking around to complete puzzles, I had to re-listen to a lot of the same voice lines from the puppets as they flailed around relentlessly.
Well, that one just appears in my house.
It seems they only say new things when you move on to new areas and levels, so when it took me a bit to get through one section, or if I died once or twice, I had to listen to a lot of the same nonsense multiple times. That did make some of the novelty run thin in the limited time I spent with it.
See? That's 2 heads.
Just about everything about this so-called horror game doesn't take itself seriously. My weapons used Rolodexes of the alphabet to shoot giant metal letters at my puppet pursuers. Defeated enemies would be sent ragdolling across the room with a yelp. And the entire cast of characters repeatedly monologued demented children's programming at me that included things like teaching me a method of learning how to count that involved eating my own hands. As someone who enjoys a good laugh, all of that largely worked for me. Even though the sections I played never hit the horror spot I was hoping they would, the high number of memorable laughs along the way largely made up for that absence. But the lack of real moments of horror is certainly noticeable, making for a very different experience from peers like Five Nights at Freddy's, where there are plenty of shriek-inducing scenes despite the kid-friendly subject matter. Even when I was murdered by maniac Muppets, there weren't any jump scares or genuinely terrifying moments to be found, at least in the early sections I played, and that was admittedly a bit of a bummer. No! Even so, as someone who quite enjoys goofy, irreverent games, I'm excited to see more of My Friendly Neighborhood and its unlovable cast of characters when it makes its debut later this month.
This is Avium.
Open fire! Red Magnus on deck!
Since we first learned to use magic, we've waged war over who would control it. Now, only Lucium remains to resist the tyrant of Rasharn. Sandrak will eventually be able to block our access to magic. Then the Everwar is over.
Over? As in he takes over Lucium?
As in he takes over everything. There's a name for what you are.
A Magnus. I want to be an immortal. I want to fight this war as one of you, one of the elite.
I believe in you. She definitely thinks you're going to die. That's why her face looks like that.
Get position! Sigils up! Let's move!
You walk towards your doom.
Doom and I are old friends.
Your sigil will help you focus your magic. Prevent it from killing you. I found a child whose new powers could make them a threat to the kingdom I protect. The choice was to either kill you or turn you into a weapon against Rasharn.
Back up. Option option A was to kill me?